What's up, everybody? Welcome to a little different video today. Basically, just kind of talking about the current situation we are in with importing cars from Japan. So if you're seeing one of my videos for the first time, my name's Kevin. I run OK Garage. I basically work on K cars, some full-size cars, but just mostly K cars in general. And I have made a video in the past kind of helping you try to import something from Japan, but I feel like there's a lot of questions right now about the current importing situation of cars from Japan. So I was gonna make a video just kind of quickly talking about what I know as to what is going on right now as of July 10th, 2025, if I didn't say the date already, just in case, so we know it's relevant to right now versus it could change next week. Who knows? Stuff is so flip-floppy right now with importing and tariffs. It's just absolutely bonkers. But yeah, so disclaimer, I am not a economic major. I'm not an English major either. I can't hardly talk. Political science major, none of that stuff. I just work on K cars and sell parts for K cars. And yeah, if you're interested in K cars, check out my other videos on how to work on them and the custom exhausts we do and stuff like that. But anyways, as of right now, we'll talk about what the tariffs and duties used to be versus what they are now versus what they are going to become August 1st, 2025 as of right now. I mean, again, who knows? It could change. Stuff is just so dumb right now. Who knows what's going to happen? But if you are, and that's another disclaimer, this is not to shy people away from importing a car, and it is also not to make current importers who do this for a business or backyard importers mad. There's no need for punching anybody in the face over this, or just want to talk about the current situation and what kind of makes more sense to do in the long run, because it's gonna get a little expensive to import cars, my opinion. So unless prices reflect the duties and stuff in Japan, but who knows, we want these cars so bad, we have inflated the price tenfold. So it's just, yeah, we'll see if it's relative to what they become in Japan. But anyways, duties used to be, as of 5-6 months ago, passenger vehicles. So we're talking about cars, 2-seater cars, 4-seater cars that have seat belts in the back. And yes, I know some vans went through that did not have seat belts in the back. But those are not going through anymore as of right now in Tacoma, Washington. At that port, it doesn't fly anymore. It used to for a little bit. There was a loophole, but they closed that loophole pretty quickly because they want their money. It's all about money. But if you don't have seatbelts in the back, it's considered a cargo vehicle. So vans, K vans, K trucks, obviously, are cargo. So that was 25%, and passenger vehicles were 2.5%. I imported quite a few vans that were not cargo vans that were dinged as cargo vehicles, so I paid 25% on them. Now, if you bought a Suzuki Jimny or a Suzuki Cappuccino or a Subaru Vivio, whatever, a Pajero, those would be all classified as passenger vehicles and 2.5% duties. Now, with our current administration, it went to 12.5% on passenger vehicles and 35% on cargo vehicles. It bumped up 10%. So now, as of August 1st, it is supposedly going up another 35% on top of what it is right now. So cargo vehicles are going to be a 70% duty, which is just mind-blowing, and passenger vehicles are going to be 47.5%, I believe. So if you're wanting to import something, just be sure to put that in the budget. You're going to be paying close to half or almost more than half of what the car costs in Japan in duties when it lands. So thank goodness a lot of companies over there are itemizing their invoices, so you're just paying duties on the car itself and not everything bundled together, shipping, insurance, all that stuff. So there is that. They're more on top of that aspect because they want to make sure you're not paying too much in duties. But still, it's going to go up quite a bit. So it's a real bummer because I currently have 2 cars coming from Japan. One is a cargo van. It's a Daihatsu Mirror walkthrough. So if it doesn't ship before August 1st, I'm going to be getting hit with the 70% tariff, which is, again, just bonkers because I think I probably paid close to 5 or 6 grand for it in Japan. So yeah, that sucks. And I have a Suzuki Wagon R. Its birthday is in August, so it definitely can't ship before August. And I'm going to get hit with 47.5% duty on that because it's a passenger vehicle. So yeah, that just kind of makes you more, just not willy-nilly buying stuff. I think, again, in my opinion, you're going to think twice about buying something in Japan versus getting something here in the States already. So for the importers here, maybe their stuff may become a little bit more valuable because a lot of people aren't going to want to import as much anymore because of the duties, or it's going to make the prices more relative. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But basically, if you're importing something, you're going to be paying quite a bit in duties. Now, the pros and cons of this is, unfortunately, when you buy something in Japan, they're not always completely honest and upfront about what you're getting. So you may pay, a good price for something, and then you're going to pay something crazy in duties, and it gets here, and it could be just a pile of junk. So that is kind of always the gamble with importing cars versus buying something that someone already has here who is a trusted importer that has a good reputation, because you can go there and physically look at it and touch it and make sure everything's good. And there's quite a few here in Washington alone that have a good reputation. So if you can deal with waiting up to 2 to 3 months, that's typically the timeline when it takes to get something shipped, is around 2 to 3 months. If you can wait that long, play the gamble of it getting here and being worth all that money and the duties that you paid for it, you did pretty good. But if you don't want to wait and you want to be able to see what you're getting up front, then, obviously buy locally. That is going to be your safest bet, because once you get something from Japan, that's it. You can't just return it. There's no return policy on that. It's yours. So that's kind of the situation right now. So I know there's been questions that come up about importing versus buying locally. Is it worth it? What are our current fees? Because not only if you import something, you can do it all yourself, but me being the kind of person that just wants to make sure it's done the right way the first time, because there's a lot of people who try to do all that stuff themselves, and something usually will go wrong unless you're just super on top of things, which I am not. I have way too much stuff going on to be that dedicated to making sure all my paperwork is right. I pay a broker, so my broker fees can be around $500 to $600 to have it all done correctly, and all I gotta do is just sign some documents and that's it. I don't have to worry about a thing. If you're doing all the paperwork yourself, there's lots of forms you got to make sure you fill out, and you do it correctly. Otherwise, you'll end up with a car sitting at a port collecting storage fees, and I think it's like $100 a day or something crazy. So you don't want to mess up when it comes to doing paperwork, or it'll just get sent back to Japan or crushed and destroyed here if you did something incorrect. So just kind of making you aware, if you're going to import something, there's more to it than just, you know, clicking buy now and waiting for it to show up at your doorstep. Not that I'm trying to steer people clear of importing. I think it's a great process. I mean, a fun little thing to do, and the process is something that's fun to talk about in the end, because it's like you imported a car from another country. It's kind of exciting. Not everybody cares about that story, and they just want something now. So that's why it's good to check out what you have locally versus trying to import. And for the importer guys, if someone's looking for the cheapest deal and wanting to import something, that person's not your customer anyways. So focus on the people who are going to be your customer versus convincing that guy who wants to try to get an Acti truck for $500 from Japan. That's not your customer. Just move along. But that also comes with, you pay for what you get. So if you get something for $500 in Japan, be prepared to spend, you know, some money getting it, you know, good again. Typically $500 is going to get you something that's on the low end that needs some work, or you could get lucky. In my experience, as someone who works on these all the time, the cheap ones are cheap for a reason. And if you don't know how to work on a car, just be prepared to be, you know, paying for somebody to work on it, get parts for you, or, you know, provide parts for it, because again, they're 25 to 30-year-old cars, and they're going to need work. We can't assume that a 25 to 30-year-old car is going to be perfect and not have any issues, which again, there are situations where they are perfect, but we also have to remember they're old cars, and old stuff breaks and stuff goes bad. So some of them need a little bit of love and attention, and that's what I love doing here at OK Garage, is working on them and getting them back up to par. This one right here was recently imported. The gas tank was full of rust, so I had to drop the gas tank, clean it, fix that, and just, you know, get everything up to at least a good functioning level. Nothing's going to be perfect on these things, because, you know, worn out stuff is going to have its, you know, its little hiccups, but at least, you know, it's functioning, and you can enjoy it again instead of it dying because it's trying to suck rust through the fuel system. So there's pros and cons of importing, and there's pros and cons of buying locally. You always want to obviously just stick with somebody who's got good reviews and has got a good reputation, because otherwise you could be buying a piece of junk from someone obviously already here, and you could have done better by just importing something yourself. So just, you know, if you're going to be looking for something, just do a little research, see what's out there that's going to be good. Anyways, yeah, so that's kind of where we're at right now with imports and tariffs. As of August 1st, it's going to go up 35% on top of what we're paying now, which is 12.5% on passenger, 35% on cargo, trucks and vans. So it's going to get pricey, and we'll see kind of what happens to the import market when all this goes down, if it goes down. If something changes in the meantime, that would be great, but I'm not holding my breath. And it shouldn't scare you away from trying to import or buy an import from Japan. It's certainly very, very, very fun to have a right-hand drive car. They're very unique. They get all the attention. You can get super fun, full-size cars. I mean, I love my Stagia. I love my Toyota Crown Estate Athlete G. That thing is so much fun. I love my Sandbars, my Sandbar truck, my Sandbar van. I love my Honda Acti Fire van. I love my Daihatsu Midget. I love my Mini Cooper. I know I'm probably forgetting some. Oh, my Suzuki Jimny. I love that. Like, I'm not going to stop importing cars, but I'm certainly going to, you know, think twice about what I'm going to just throw a bid on. Is it going to be worth it and worth all those duties in the end? But yeah, I got a little bit of downtime because I just finished this van. I'm waiting on parts on a bunch of other stuff. I got a sandbar KT6 I'm going to do a timing belt service on, and I thought I would film that just to kind of show there's no videos out there on those and kind of the differences between the KT6 versus the KS models, which there are quite a few similarities in the trucks. They're just 80s versus 90s. So it's kind of funny to see what transferred from the KT6 or the KTs to the KSs. It's interesting in my eyes because I'm such a sandbar fan. It's funny to see what they kept in the line of sandbars. Yeah, so I'll be doing that next. And yeah, just kind of taking it day by day here. I've got quite a bit of trucks and vans right now that need work. I'm just waiting on stuff from Japan. Yeah, so hopefully, I mean, I know I didn't tell you about the whole import process. I just wanted to fill you in as to what the tariffs and duties are currently, what we're looking at, you know, money-wise it's going to cost. And yeah, import something, buy something, support your local importer. That's always good. There's quite a few in Washington. Either way, get yourself a right-hand drive. They're a lot of fun. And it's a really big love-hate relationship for sure, but it's it's totally worth it. But yeah, cool. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you on the next one.